I started in the steel works when I was 18. My father worked there, my grandfather worked there, all my friends worked there. My friends are older. So when I was young, even when I was 6, 7, 8 years old, so my ideal career was always going to be a steel worker. I didn't want to be anything else. So I always thought it was a job for life.
In Port Talbot aan de zuidkust van Wales staat net als in IJmuiden een staalfabriek van Tata Steel. De fabrieken hebben gemeen dat ze groen staal moeten gaan maken. Zowel in de Eimond als in Wales moeten daarvoor nieuwe fabrieken worden gebouwd. Port Talbot loopt voor. Het vuur in de oude hoogovens, jaren het symbool van economische groei, is al gedoofd. Met ingang van 2027 wordt hier alleen nog staal gemaakt op basis van schroot in een zogeheten elektrische vlamboogoven. Tot die tijd ligt de fabriek nagenoeg stil. Het enige wat er nu nog gebeurt is het op maat walsen van kant-en-klaar geïmporteerd staal. De gemeenschap betaalt een hoge prijs voor de vergroening. Voor de nieuwe manier van staal maken zijn veel minder mensen nodig. 1500 van de 4000 werknemers zijn al ontslagen. Een aantal dat vermoedelijk gaat oplopen tot 2500. En dat is nog niet alles. Er gaan ook klappen vallen bij de bedrijven die afhankelijk zijn van Tata Steel. Hoewel Tata Steel in IJmuiden op een andere manier gaat vergroenen, er gaat hier staal gemaakt worden op basis van waterstof, vrezen ze in Wales dat wat hen is overkomen ook de Eimond te wachten staat. Het is maandagavond, de vaste repetitieavond van het Port Talbot Cambric Male Voice Choir. Ieder koorlid kent wel iemand die is getroffen door de ontslaggolf of is zelf slachtoffer. Steve Partridge ging 4 jaar geleden met vervroegd pensioen. Maar Liam Handford, vader van 4 jonge dochters, ondervond eind vorig jaar dat de tijd voorbij is dat kinderen van staalarbeiders vanzelf vaders van staalarbeiders worden. Zijn ontslag doet pijn, zeker door de manier waarop hij is ontslagen.
Here, the way they've done has been terrible. There's been no honour, there's been no respect, we've been brought in. So what happened to me was, my mate came to see me in the morning at 6:30. He said, have you got a letter? I said, no, for what? I got a meeting this morning, he said, at 10 o'clock. Got meetings today. So I've heard nothing. 10 minutes later, I had a phone call from my shift manager saying, I'm so sorry you haven't sent a letter, you got a meeting at 10:30. I walked down at 10:30, I see my friend outside crying. So I knew straight away, you've lost your job, have you? He had 2 young children. He said, yeah, I've lost my job, he said. My son's autistic, my wife can't work, what am I going to do, he said. So I knew what was coming. So I got quite upset now, you know. So I walked in, sat down, and I got quite irate. And I said to the shift manager, I had a lot of respect for Mark. It's not your job to tell me I haven't got a job. It's them upstairs who should be telling me I haven't got a job. He said, you can appeal if you want to. But he said it is quite hard out there at the minute. There's not enough jobs that they're saying there's jobs, you know.
When you realise that you've lost your job, it's not just a job in there, it's a livelihood, it's a way of living. I was a lifer, my father was a lifer, my brother was a lifer. If you were there, your mortgage was going to be paid, your kids would go through university, holidays, cars, everything. When somebody says to you, that's going to stop, and stop suddenly, your life is turned upside down. And how do you cope with that? It must be one of the most horrific feelings ever, and I'm fortunate not to have had that.
Hun gevoelens kunnen ze het best kwijt in hun eigen taal, het Welsh, in een zangstuk dat hun lijflied is geworden.
If you listen to the words or translate the words from Vandaag, it is a very emotional song. not just the people who have lost their jobs, but to everybody in Port Talbot.
The day the furnace shut, I sat at my house and I was just crying to myself, you know. And we done a song that night in rehearsal. I said to the music producer, Matthew, I said, he wanted to sing it for us. I said, no, it has to be Myfanwy. Because Myfanwy is a very heartfelt love song. And when I sang that, it still hits me to this day.
De vakbonden vochten een verbeten strijd tegen het massa-ontslag. Dat ze dat niet hebben kunnen tegenhouden maakt indruk op de vakbondsleiders Gary Keogh en Alan Davis. Allebei met een verleden in de fabriek. Om hun gevoel te verwoorden volstaat één woord.
Angry. I think they've taken the industry that I love. They've tried to smash a community. They've tried to smash the people that work for them for years. And there was nothing, we tried everything to stop them, but just couldn't. That's difficult to take, that is.
Om te redden wat er te redden valt voor de gemeenschap is de vakbond samen met de gemeente dit centrum voor werkzoekende ex-staalarbeiders begonnen.
We're not yet seeing the implications of the job losses yet because people left with a redundancy package. Once that starts to whittle away because of no jobs and your day-to-day living costs spiraling, then you will start to see this economy and this local community start dropping off a cliff. Our worries is that it will be a ghost town. The plan for this support centre is to make sure we stop that from happening.
Port Talbot without the steelworks is like taking the port out of Port Talbot. It is our be-all, it is our end-all, it is the beating heart of this community, and without it we are really nothing. My personal opinion is a big wave going across the North Sea at this very moment. I do fear for the people of Holland and Amouda, obviously, of the industry, because unfortunately what's happened to us, I don't see any other way out of it for the people of Amouda, to be perfectly honest with you.
So the problems with pollution that you are seeing in Amouda, we had those same problems here. And that ended up with us closing our coke ovens, closing both blast furnaces because of pollution and carbon costs and everything else. And eventually it was the closure of the Evian. I would hate to see that happen in Holland.
When you look at the plant now, is your heart bleeding?
Yeah. Yeah. It's a difficult one. It's the wrong decision.
Zingen doen de leden van het Port Talbot Cambric Choir vol overgave. Maar op zaterdag houden ze een andere traditie in ere. Dan ontmoeten ze elkaar bij het rugby.
Oh, look, I learned the old ones yet.
Vanmiddag speelt Aberystwyth Harlequins tegen Port Talbot.
In the past, rugby has been a great outlet for working man because it's a working class sport in Wales, and lots of boys couldn't wait for the weekend to play rugby to get rid of their frustrations. They'd have a fight, they'd have a bit of a rumble and tumble on the field, then have a few beers after and enjoy the day. Come on in. Come on, fire it up, yeah.
Andrew Dacey is behalve koorlid vicevoorzitter van Aberystwyth Harlequins. Hij vreest dat de Welshmen behalve hun baan ook wel eens hun belangrijkste verzetje ontnomen zou kunnen worden door de ontwikkelingen bij Tata Steel.
Well, the knock-on effect of the heavy end and the two blast furnaces closing is that a lot of boys who work there, either directly employed or contracting, obviously lose income and they're going to look for work elsewhere. So that means a lot of people, or potentially a lot of people, will move away to certain other areas.
Can you see the change already?
Already, because we've got what we call a smokers night, where we have 2 guests speaking in front of a crowd, and one of the companies that would normally buy a table for that event has already said they can't do it because they're not having the contract work that they normally get from the heavy end of the steelworks. With the choir as well as the rugby club, so we haven't seen many changes yet, but I think they won't be far away. It's slowly going to erode. I think what they're going to do, the pool of players, the pool of choristers, is going to decrease. There's going to be less people in the area that want to play rugby, that will go on to singing. So I think, yeah, it's a massive social deprivation.
Dirty old town, dirty old town.
Te midden van alle sores zijn er lichtpuntjes in Port Talbot. Je moet ze met een lantaarntje zoeken, maar ze zijn er. Staalarbeiders die een nieuwe toekomst hebben gevonden. Cassius Walker Hunt is in het winkelcentrum een koffiebarretje begonnen.
You did it. Oh, let me try.
Het is sappelen in vergelijking met zijn vorige baan.
Thank you. Keeping the wool from the door. No, I'm not a millionaire or nothing from it, but it's paying my mortgage, you know. That's all I'm eating every night, and that's it really.
And then L.
When I started for Tata, I thought it was a job for life. I miss the steelworks, working like that, of course. The last shift, end of an era for Port Talbot, on number 5 blast furnace, when we shut it down forever. I was an honour to be there and to share it with all my work colleagues. I've got something to show you of that day. This is the last ever iron sample of that. So I've got a bit of history there. It's a bit rusted now, but that's the last ever iron sample. Have a look at this. What do you think this is? This is basically my grandfather. His father done his last ever sample in 1963. And this is his last steel sample that he took before he retired, just so that I can, it's just half family. See you? Yeah. You want to have a look?
Wethouder Steve Hunt prijst zich gelukkig met mensen als Cassius die niet vertrekken, maar een nieuw bestaan opbouwen in hun eigen stad. In de omgeving van Port Talbot staan grote groene energieprojecten op stapel, zoals windmolens op zee. Die gaan volgens Hunt goed betaalde banen opleveren, zodat de mensen in de stad kunnen blijven.
Many of them have already moved to Hinkley Point to get those type of wages so they can continue with the lifestyles they've obviously built up to have. So now it's for us to train and look for alternative employment that will allow them to retain in the locality, spending money here so the economy itself doesn't suffer.
I don't say scrap it, we're not going to scrap it.
Oh, my advice for the people of Bijna is not to worry. I think the programme of growing the economy through green, clean energy is important.
De lucht boven Port Talbot en de streken eromheen is schoner sinds de hoogovens zijn gesloten. Iedereen die je spreekt merkt het, maar het weegt niet op tegen de misère van de ontslaggolf. Zelfs de British Lung Foundation, die jaren kritisch is geweest op de uitstoot van de fabriek, wil voor camera niet zeggen dat ze blij zijn met het positieve effect van het sluiten van de hoogovens. Ook de milieubeweging Friends of the Earth Port Talbot erkent dat de stad wel een heel hoge prijs betaalt voor de schone lucht.
Yes, 85% decrease in air pollution is mooted, which is excellent. But because this transition has been done so quickly, people's mental health has suffered, as well as financial benefits, and it's not what we want. We want what's called a just transition.
To try and find a positive effect for people losing, or 1,500 people losing their jobs, that would be the only positive thing that I can come out of it is that this area where we are is known as an area that gets contaminated quite heavily through pollution from the blast and everything. I think people living in this area may find that a little easier.
Yeah, so my eldest daughter got asthma. She's been hospitalised a number of times, you know. I wanted to see a better future for our town. I do. And we do need a better future for our town. So when they first announced a greener steel, I thought, okay, positive news. There'll be more options for us all to go a better way. But then this sort of announcements came, there's going to be thousands of job losses and more and more.
Glory, glory, hallelujah. His truth is...
But it is hard because I haven't got that wage every month, you know, it's a good solid wage. I've lost, you know, it's worrying. The children just gone back to school after Christmas break, and my wife's just gone back to work, she's a teacher. So we're looking at the book, so I'm trying to balance the books of my redundancy and what I can take from that to live on. I would say to the people in Bijna now, my best advice would be to get onto the unions now and to make sure that they get in place straight away, that it doesn't happen the way it's happened here.
Do I think Tata has a long-term future here? No. Do I think the new green steel will be built here? No. I think next year they'll say it's not cost effective, not viable, and they'll pull the rug. That's my own personal opinion. This is Steel Town. You know, everywhere you go, taxis, Steel Town, shops, cafes, everything is to do with steel. We've been making steel here now for over 60 years, and that's gone.